Good morning, Atlanta Scott Lighthouse. So this is going to be a little bit longer of a video because I have a rune reading, but I'm gonna probably do it separately. So what's come through to me this morning? When I did a rune reading the other day, I was talking about, that's the bag I carry my runes in. Look, Crown Royal, and I don't even drink it. But I got a whole bunch of these. Will used to buy himself a bottle every great once in a while. And me and my son fought over them because I love to recycle. So I love to have cans, bottles, old bottles to put new stuff in. I put a lot of my powders in them. Little bags like this to hold sunglasses. I got one that holds sunglasses. I've got one that holds old charging cords in case I need an extra one. I got different types. You know what I'm saying? I just love to recycle. So anyway, in the mornings when I'm sitting here drinking coffee, before I sometimes in between when I listen to the, which is really just getting to be two people I listen to anymore, and that's Eve of Everlong Mystic and Sand at Sand Tarot. And actually have a bond with Sand because I've been talking to her now for on and off for over a year. And I've been listening to her for over 3. So there's a bond there. She is an awesome person, guys. If you have never gone and looked at a video by Sand at Santero or Eve, both of them are, and Eve is new and upcoming, but she's highly intuitive. And Sand just screams to me of having shaman type abilities, like maybe from a past life or something. Because I get these little intuitive hits, and I really need to start writing them down, because I'll think of something, or I'll sit here and I'll go, well, what am I feeling? And I'll actually talk it out. I don't care if people think I'm crazy. So with me, with my ADHD, it's just easier for me to talk it out, and then I'm hearing it and feeling it and thinking it at the same time. And I'm like being totally in my own energy, which is most of the time, I think that's why my ADHD and why I talk so much is because I'm getting everyone's energy, because I soak up shit like a sponge, and I feel like I'm getting everybody's energy, and that's why my mouth is going. Makes sense to me. So, what I'm getting this morning, and someone's probably going to pop up with it in a tarot reading, because that seems to be what happens, is I pick up on the energy and I talk it out, I feel it out, I think it out. And then it comes, and then within a day or two, somebody comes up with a tarot card reading that has something in it that'll say something that came to me. So they're just putting it down in the cards and having it come out, and I just talk it out through my own, of course, there's nobody here but me and the cat, and I don't even know where she is. I think she's laying on the bed. Some morning she just doesn't want to get out of bed. She'll come in here for a few minutes and she'll go back in there. But what I'm getting this morning is that while you're waiting for things to move forward in your life, waiting for the divine to fill up the energy when you've let go of a lot. And y'all know I did a video recently where I had some really lucid dreams, and I feel like I was purging something. And maybe it was a lot of toxicity from past relationships and past things. And because I woke up one morning and said, I'm tired of thinking about this, and this. And I'm just wanting to let everything go, because I'm wanting to focus on my channel work, my little home life here, my little camper, and which is all mine, and I'm just wanting to see what the next 20 years of my life brings. So what I keep getting is having faith in the divine and waiting for the divine to act in divine timing. And y'all know I said recently on a tarot. I used to do tarot cards, guys, believe it or not. They just don't resonate with me anymore like my runes do. And I've been doing rune readings for over 20 years. So it just feels like the divine is telling me not to get depressed, not to get overly concerned about how gifts, things that they're bringing to me, because everything's energy, but just to sit back, have faith, and just say, okay, when you bring it, you bring it. And I am very impatient at times, and because I'm hyperactive, so that's just me. But I'm starting to learn that sometimes you just have to sit back and observe what else is going on with other people, other things, and realize that when it gets here, it gets here. So In the meantime, I have been, I mean, right now you really can't tell it, but I have been working on my camper. I keep taking out every day at least one bag of garbage. I'm getting rid of old letters, I'm clearing out my space. I heard somebody say that the angels really like it when it's nice and clean. And I used to get a lot more messages from the angels when I first moved in here because life hadn't set in. I hadn't sat here and, over the winter of, I had just moved in and it was nice and clean. And I really got to clean the walls and everything again because I'm trying to quit smoking. And it's I'm trying to clear out my space so to let more energy come in, because I'm starting to feel things more on an energetic level, or maybe, well, I always have. I think what it is I'm making more sense out of what I'm feeling, or I'm more, like one of the rune readings said something about higher level of consciousness for healers, and I already know I'm a healer, and I know a lot of you guys are too, and it just feels like an onion, another layer's being peeled back on the physical, emotional, mental, whatever, so that the spiritual and the esoteric and the occult, the unseen, can become seen. Does that make sense? So these are the things that I'm feeling. And it just feels like they're sitting back just watching me. It feels like the angels and my spirit guides are sitting back and watching me start to bloom. Does it feel like that to you? Because, guys, I always tell y'all, I always ask y'all questions. Always ask questions. Always ponder things. Always, I feel like since I started trying to do the esoteric meaning of the runes, which is new studying and new seeing what I feel about what the book says and what I'm feeling, and coming up with my own definition of, and it's becoming brighter, clearer, more inner spiritual journey. It feels like it's more intuitive. It just feels like as I'm going forward, it feels like more is opening up. Since I started doing not the mundane level of the runes, but trying to do them on an internal spiritual journey wise, esoteric type wise, what they're telling me on a different level than what I've ever read them. Because I used to read them for people like tarot cards of, this person, this is what you need to do, this is what this person needs to do, or this is what you're, somebody this, somebody that. You know how tarot card readings go. Most of them. There are some people like Sand and Everlong that they don't do them like some people do. If, well, you got this guy coming in and there's somebody stealing from you, someone's casting a spell on you. They do it on an esoteric level as well, which is why we all vibe together. So I've been heading this way for quite a while now. So, and it all started, it started before COVID hit. But it's just, when I look at where I am today compared to where I was in 2020, guys, I am not even the same flipping person. I am more intuitive. I listen to my instincts more. I have boundaries now. And y'all know, I kind of let one of the people I kicked to the curb back in a little bit because he explained to me what happened one night when he said something nasty to me, and he actually got into somebody much younger than him, had a push and shoving match with him, who pushes down a 65-year-old man because he asked for something that you borrowed from him back, and then you tell him you're going to keep it. That's kind of what happened. And when he said he wanted his stuff back, the guy shoved him to the ground. And this is a much younger guy compared to a 65-year-old man. He shoved him down on the ground out here. In the ground, we have these rocks throughout the whole RV park, and they're sharp. I won't walk out there without shoes on. They will hurt your feet, cut your feet. They're sharp. And it's like whenever they used to blast through the mountains and they would have the bigger rocks and they had the smaller rocks, well, they would scoop up the smaller rocks and put them in those rock places where you could go and use them for covering the ground when you wanted to put out like in the RV park before they laid down the driveway for it and everything. All the camping spaces have on top of the ground, they have all these rocks to keep the grass from going through, and then they, of course, had to put in all the water and all that. You know what I'm saying? So we have those out there. Those things hurt people. Like I said, I won't walk on them without shoes. And this younger man pushed this older man down. And, yeah, I can understand now why the guy said what he said. So it had nothing to do with me. He was upset. He was, he was mad. He was upset. He had just got shoved down on the ground. So And it was 10 o'clock at night, so yeah, I can kind of understand why he said what he said. And he told me, he said, I didn't mean it personal. He said, I was just really upset. He said, if I would have been, drunker than what I already, because he had been drinking a little bit. But he's like, I was ready to go shoot him. I was ready to go beat, and I mean, when you start getting up in your 60s, guys, you're not, you're just not as agile as you used to be. So, at any rate, I'm just not the person that I used to be. And the divine just keeps telling me that I'm still on my own inner journey and things are opening up. And I keep being told I'm like at this precipice of a whole new opening up of. And when I went through that cloud, and I did a video about it, guys, I'm not going to go into it again, but I went through some really strange little cloud bow. I can't say it was a rainbow. There's no color to it, but it literally went from one side of the road to the other, and me and another guy in another truck, both of us heading towards town, drove through it, and I'm like, oh, I was going to come back and take pictures of it, but it was already gone, and I had to go pick Oliver up to take him to work. So, at any rate, it just feels like I'm growing, opening up, expanding. It just feels like things are changing. So that's all I wanted to talk about. Was I just wondered if anyone else besides me was going through that. If any of y'all had felt like you're starting to expand again. And some people feel things right away or feel it before it gets there. And I've been feeling like yesterday. That's why I did the room reading yesterday, because the whole time I sat here, something just kept poke, 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 poke. So I had to do the reading. And I did another one this morning. I'm getting ready to read it, and which I've already read it. I know what it says. And I'm getting ready to do another separate video on that, and I'm going to upload it. But guys, just pay attention, because things are changing. They're changing fast. And for healers or anyone that is wanting to heal themselves on their own inner journey, that are wanting to help other people, the divine is speaking. You just have to stop and listen. So, and I, for one, just feel like my consciousness is expanding and opening up. And sometimes I just, like I said, when I sit here and I think about things and I talk about things over in the morning, or I just sit here and I listen to stuff and, whatever I want, I've been trying to put things into my little journal. It just feels like there's an expansion going on. And it feels like I'm just on this cliff getting ready to I just need to go forward half an inch more, and I'm going to be through another portal. So, and going through that cloud this morning just made that come home to me. And it just felt like the divine was saying, you're almost there, you're almost there. And then Eve updid a message and said something similar on her Virgo reading this morning. And so y'all might want to go check that out. Eve at Everlong Mystic. I can't remember the name of it now, guys. Yeah. So, anyway, that's my little message for this morning. Just be open and see if you don't feel like you are expanding on some level as a healer, or maybe you're getting ready to have some special gifts come in, or something is changing in the atmosphere on the planet. And that was the other thing, too, was since I started before my readings, I have been literally in my mind's eye, feel like, I don't know if any of y'all ever got to see the Hobbit movie, The Rings, about where they show that big eye at the top of the all-seeing eye that scans over the land. That's what I've been doing before I do my readings. Another example of it is on the X-Men, where the guy that used to play Jean-Luc Picard, I can't think of his name in real life, but he puts the helmet on and he's looking for all the X-Men, all the people that have all the special gifts. That's kind of so what I'm doing. A mix of that is I'm looking for all the healers to see what is the main energy that I need to see, feel, hear, pick up on before I do the rune reading, so that the majority of people get the right message, that it will resonate with them. So I just feel like I'm doing that has been expanding me. So I don't know or maybe it's just making it more clear for me. I'm not sure. So anyway, if that's happening to any of y'all, think about that and figure out what it is the divine's bringing to you. So that's my little message for this morning. I love you guys. Lana Scott Lighthouse. Be a light in the darkness, folks. We are all here to help each other. We're all connected. And it is super important that you heal yourself so you can heal others, so that as humanity, we go forth in light, because the darkness, if you're not careful, it will overtake you. All right, guys, that's my message for this morning. I am going to upload a reading for you guys here in a little bit. All right. I love all of you. Lana Scott Lighthouse.